What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez. With me tonight, it's Chris, the stats man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey. So the Austin Reeves has officially passed Kyrie Irving in terms of number of games played with LeBron, which I thought was weird.
Wow.
But conversely, kind of on that same page, the Dallas Mavericks have become the seventh team since 1980 to get a losing record the season after making the finals. I will never stop. I'm not even tired of talking about the trade. I think I'll bring it up again tonight. But it's just, I can't. There's so many wrinkles. I keep finding more and more stuff to talk about with it. So yeah.
Well, if we have time at the end of the show, we'll definitely have to talk about Nico's press conference.
It might be during in the middle. We'll see. We'll
see what happens. But he's getting his lawn ready to go, green and luscious. It's lawn boss Joe McCroskey. Get that, Joe.
Yeah, we're getting ready to lay some stripes here.
Striping it.
It's about time.
About that time. It's about that time, and it's about that time that we do some overreactions, underreactions to games 1 and 2 of reactions, just general reactions to the playoffs. The playoffs started over the weekend. Big slate of games. Some series are at 2 games. Some series are starting their second game tonight. Some snoozers, I think we could say, and then some awesome bangers late in the night. We got that going on. We're going to talk about some top players that we've been thinking about, and then Chris has got a funky stat that we're going to debate at the end of the pod, and then maybe Mav Straight Talk. Who knows? The night is young, boys. All right, Joey, well, let's start with you here to get you in. You got an overreaction to the Eastern Conference playoff bracket games?
Yes, the Bucks are terrible.
Oh, all right. I like it.
The Bucks as a whole, very bad. Giannis as an individual, very, very good. Game 1, extremely underwhelming performance from the entire cast. Kyle Kuzma posted the ultimate zero stat line. It was like 22 or 20 minutes. Yeah. No points, no attempts, no rebounds, no nothing.
I think 2 fouls.
Did he have 2 fouls?
Yeah, maybe.
Put it in the box score.
Good to see that sweat in.
So desperate they were. They decided to bring Lillard back for game 2 last night. That didn't do them any favors. Bobby Portis went off, and they still lost because everybody else in that team is just kind of middling about. We theorized the question last week of, hey, if the Bucks, sweep this series or win 1 game, do you feel any better about them going up against the Cavs? Well, I think that ship is long gone and sailed. Deer season is open for those in Indiana. I don't know if you saw the guys sitting in the front row in the blaze orange camo.
Genius.
Absolutely genius. Gotta love it. But I think this run of the Bucks being, somewhat exciting and good is over. And to be fair, we all should have seen this coming, right? Yeah. They started the season this way, kind of teased us back into it a little bit in the middle of the season and towards the end, but they're regressing to what they always have been, and it's a Giannis-centric team, and the cast and crew doesn't move the needle enough for them to be competitive anymore.
No, I'm with you, Joey. Giannis is doing everything he can right now, but it's just not enough. And to your point, I think we all kind of had the Bucks winning that playoff series, correct?
I believe Joey, I want to add to what Joey's point is. We did. He kind of talked. I thought you guys were going to go Pacers. That's kind of why I wanted to go Bucks. But I'm like, and I kind of like the Bucks enough because Joey was talking about what if Giannis does this? And it's kind of like Joey basically said last week, what if Giannis scores 34 points, gets 18 rebounds and 7 assists on 70% field goal shooting percentage?
What if he was to do that?
Think they'll win? No. With Dame back? No. You think they'll still lose by 8? Yeah. What if Bobby Portis gets 28? How dare Milwaukee lose with a Bobby Portis game like that? And Kuzma even scored. It's just so
the biggest X factor.
The biggest X factor. But I think that's the wildest thing about this. And maybe the Pacers is maybe the best way to look at this is like maybe were they a little bit better than we all thought, or they made the conference.
Maybe
final.
they're not. Maybe they're not overrated.
Maybe they're not overrated.
Right?
Halliburton. Yeah. But yeah, we all kind of thought Giannis best player in the series. That could be something in advance for him, and it's not because Giannis is playing great. But
I mean, you got Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Neesmith getting 17, 16 points each. It's just that they're combining for 30 plus, and then that didn't even count for Miles Turner. The whole team is just Ben Matherin's doing work off the bench. It's just a good solid guys.
Team. Yeah. I agree with that one. Chris, you got any other overreactions in the Eastern Conference?
My overreaction, it's tough for the East.
Yeah,
I like the Bucks one. Joey kind of stole. That's why I want to add it to it. Sorry. But another one I can talk about. I'm really nervous for the Knicks. I think I want to overreact.
Yes, do it.
Joey was onto something.
Yep.
I didn't believe. I didn't want to. I couldn't talk myself into that one. His point last week. But dude, there's no Brunson Towns pick and roll. They just look like they're getting beat up. They look more skilled, maybe, like when it comes down to it. But the Pistons are everywhere. They're just flying, hitting guys, and just running up and down the court. And they're not very skilled. They miss layups. It's kind of funny to watch the Pistons and these young guys. They're 22, but they're just out hustling the Knicks. And it's weird for a Thibs team to be out hustled like this. So I think the Knicks are in trouble. Like, do
you want to hear the stat of all stats, Chris? Let's make you happy. Brunson has passed the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns 12 times in these two games. 12 times. That's it.
That's
passed it. Not even assisted. Straight up passed him the ball 12 times.
Passing the ball. Like, how many possessions are there? Like 90 possessions? And like, you can pass. Like, it's just
12.
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
That is. But he took 29 shots in the last game, Brunson?
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, they didn't do too well. Joey called it. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Chris, that I think the Knicks are in trouble. It's early. When I think in the group chat, Joey was saying after the loss in game one that he believed in the Pistons even now more than ever. I was kind of thinking all right, if we were podding that night reaction, I think I might have pushed back and said, well, I think that they might have blew their shot. Like that might have been the one.
Yeah.
Knicks maybe didn't take him seriously. They came in, scared them. The 21-0 run in the fourth quarter. All right, that was they had this chance to get them, a la like the Bulls when they had a great game 2 or game 1, whatever that was. But it turned out that wasn't the case. That was a real thing. And I was locked in for game 2, and I saw it. I'm like, oh crap! New York made another run late into the fourth quarter as I was trying to fall asleep, and I had to stay up to watch the end of it. But they didn't get it done, and losing on your home court, going to Detroit, feisty young team. I think Joey he saw it coming.
The game 1 thing was like, they won that game. Yes, they went on that big run, but Cam Payne was like the catalyst when he came in and hit those couple threes. And it was like, we're not counting on that happening again, right?
He played 4 minutes the next game.
Yeah. That's a once in a series type thing for them. Especially with Tibbs, right? He's not going to he's not all of a sudden going to have confidence in someone like Cam Payne. I'm pretty sure Cam Payne might have played for Tip. No, after this time, it'd been like Jim Boylan, but he was on the Bulls at one point. But yeah, after watching, I was like, the Pistons just kind of, you could see the youngness of them in game 1 in that run. But I was watching, and I was like, I still think they're the better team. I'm like, this Knicks team just looks so lopsided to the top, and after that, it's just nothing. I mean, Brunson is there a worse brand of basketball to watch in the playoffs than Jalen Brunson?
Right now, it's not great. It's
pretty hideous. I mean, it's pretty bad.
I
mean, Tibbs is complaining about not getting foul calls, and it's like, well, for 7 minutes, I watched you try and get fouls. You weren't even putting up shots that were actual shot attempts. You were straight up hunting fouls.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So
that doesn't work in the playoffs, man.
There's not many players who try to get fouls without trying to make the basket, right? There's a handful. You could probably name them, right? Brunson, Jimmy Butler, Harden. But Cunningham is playing through all that contact, and he's still trying to make the shot. So he's going to get those foul calls when he's making a legitimate shot attempt.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. Brunson, tough watch. I don't know. I think I'm trying to see if I got an overreaction left. If I can kind of cook one up here. I'll do a little home cooking here. I think the Celtics got to get. This is maybe a little bit long term overreaction. But I watched a little bit. Obviously, I watched some OKC games over the weekend, and that's still early over there. But Celtics got to get ready here, man. They're kind of messing around with Orlando tonight. No game talk, no Tatum, but it's fine. They won pretty good in the first game. But let's say they get the Pistons in the second round. And then, all right, they maybe have one real series in the Cavs, let's say, down the road, or Indiana again if they were to get them. They just need to be ready. And I think they're missing some open shots. They're playing a little lackadaisical for my taste. And
this is more of an overreaction than I thought.
Yeah,
okay.
when you're because when you're looking across the bracket, the other side, I'm like, hey, that team's ready to go. Game one, they're not messing around.
Wow,
and
this is a good
Boston,
one,
hey, tighten up, guys. You gotta. I think you're really the only chance the NBA has. So tighten up, boys. But yeah, a little bit of overreaction there.
It's a good point, though. I mean,
yeah,
that's been the criticism of them all season, right? Has been, when are they going to start taking this seriously? It's like, well, when they get to the playoffs, they'll take it seriously. And if you, as watching as much as you have, are like, I'm not sure they're quite locked in yet.
I mean, they're just kind of like, they know they can handle Orlando, which is fine. But like, I just feel like, all right, guys, it's fine. Orlando, I'm going to let it slide. But I got my eye on. You know what I mean? Hey guys, let's focus. Second round,
just that eye, just one eye,
just that one eye right now. Let's tighten up a little bit as we get into it. I know Tatum missed his first playoff game ever, which is pretty crazy. But so yeah, that's a little bit of there. All right, let's go over to the Western Conference for some overreactions. Chris, start with you, Mr. Western Conference.
Yeah,
you got any overreactions?
The Clippers are gonna wipe the floor of the Nuggets. I think in like 5.
Wow.
I think it's done. Like honestly, Kawhi Leonard had a 92% true shooting. And I want to hone in with Zach Lowe being back using big words. Yeah. I do want to say I'm a little trepidatious of Kawhi Leonard because this is great. He's playing 42 minutes a game.
We've been here before.
You know, we've for the last 5 years, man. We've been doing this with him. So I don't. If I hate even saying like if he can stay healthy, but like seriously, if he stays healthy, he's a top 5 player in the league. Yeah. Right. And the Clippers can legitimately, put up a fight against the Thunder. So, I think but the Nuggets, like Michael Porter Jr.'s, like Jokic already called him out.
Yeah.
And
they're playing 6
Brown's
guys
okay, right, but like when you have Porter Jr. as your second best guy, like there's so many guys on the Clippers that can just step up. And Zubac has been, fantastic big. Just love seeing that development from him. So the Clippers, man, like that's been a crazy one.
Okay, see, I'm with you. I still think, or I think that the Clippers are going to end up winning this series. It just seems like but to me, it's still been 2 close ones. So I do love the overreaction of it. Hey, this is done. This is done, guys. The Nuggets are cooked.
Joey, they're going back to LA.
Yeah.
That's
they're going back to LA. And you're probably right. Like, this might be done here, but I don't know. I'm still in wait and see mode. Even though I think for me, the trepidation, to use the word of the pod, word of the night, with Kawhi is just. I mean, I don't want to say it, but because I'm like, it's like you don't want to talk about a no-hitter type thing. It's like
right. Like it's
like we'll see how far he goes. But yeah, if he's playing, they're awesome. Joey, you got a Western Conference overreaction?
Well, just to add the last piece on this one, I thought this was the perfect matchup for the Nuggets. I said, them manipulating their seed kind of to get the Clippers was a good thing for them.
Yeah.
It's weird. Kind of forgot about Kawhi, right? Forgot about when he's like healthy and locked in, how good he is. I was listening to the radio on the way home from work today, and they were debating between LeBron, Jimmy, Steph, and Kawhi, like in peak playoff performance mode. Who is your number one choice, and one guy was like locked in on Kawhi. It was like at his peak, fully healthy, playoff mode. Kawhi is like untouchable for me. Like he was, arguing LeBron's lost series is not the best player, yada yada yada. But I was like, okay, weird group of players you put together, but like the general concept is, when that dude is locked in and he's playing at 92 true shooting percentage,
92%, yeah,
that's tough to mess with. Like, I mean, and the Nuggets aren't playing terrible, but the turnovers are high. Jokic looks like he's trying to maybe, I don't say force it, but they're not shooting well, so everything's trying to get into the rim, and that's going to create turnovers, and it's not working. So I love the overreaction. I think that's fantastic. Going home, they might pick up 2 quick wins here in LA.
It's a wrap.
And make it real ugly.
Oh man, that's pretty wild. Anything extra for you, Joey, or just wanted to kind of jump in on that one? Who else is there?
I can add one. The Rockets are more than a year away from being good.
Are they a piece away, perchance?
I think they're like 2.5 pieces away.
Oh wow.
Şengün clearly a guy. Chris has sniffed that one out very early on in his career. He's been loving on Şengün for 2.5, 3 seasons now. Van Fleet has fallen off the face of the earth. That dude would be lucky if he gets like, I mean, he might be like 6-man material next season. I'm not even trying to be rude. But the big piece here is
just being honest.
the Jalen Green roller coaster of is it good, is it bad, is not going to work for them in the playoffs.
It's time to make
their game one was real bad between him and Van Vliet. And the thing we've always talked about with Jalen Green is, well, when it's good, it's really exciting, and he's thrown down, he's super athletic, but when he's putting up shots, the quantity of shots he was when it was just trying to claw back into that game, it did not look good. And I don't think that's going to work for them. So my overreaction is this playoff series against the Warriors might do more to, I guess, hurt them, for the next season than it will to actually like help them. Cause I think there's going to be more questions than answers coming out of this playoff run for them.
Yeah. I like what you're saying there. I was actually thinking, leading up to the pod here, they feel a little bit like Memphis when they were the number 2 team, and maybe Memphis had Josh, was a little bit more hope, but also kind of where I don't know how real it was. You know what I mean with Memphis, and I think,
oh wow,
like kind of like it. Maybe obviously in the moment it felt like something was happening, but I think looking back, you're like, okay, that maybe wasn't as big of a deal as we thought it was at the time. I think the same thing might be true for Houston. Like what Joey's saying, these guys are a couple years away at best, and I do think especially if they lose this series to Golden State, I think you really got to start looking at, all right, what are we going to do to add a piece to this team, because it's just not working right now, or it's not going to work.
The big 3 you're looking for long term with this team is Şengün, Amen Thompson, and Jalen Green.
Yeah,
which is like, is that even better than Bane, Morant, and Jaren Jackson Jr.?
Yeah,
it's not great.
No, nope. You're going to be an 8 seed, getting your doors blown off in 4 years. Yeah, ceiling is capped. Yeah, I think they might have to. That's what they need to go for a move. Like Joey said, the ceiling is capped. So careful. All right, I got a Western Conference overreaction.
Do it.
I got one for you guys. And this is, this is overreaction for me. But the Timberwolves were better off after that trade with Cat.
Okay.
I think I have to raise my hand here. I think I was wrong. I thought it was a stupid move. I thought you don't blow up a Western Conference Finals team. But I think it ended up being the right move. I think if you look at if it plays out and the Knicks are out of the playoffs in round 1, and the Timberwolves can keep this up and beat LA, Luka and LeBron, I think that was the right move. It extends Ant's window with the financial stuff. I think it was there, and I also think part of this overreaction, Ant's coming for the Western Conference. I'm finally starting to see it. I think he's a year or two away for like really realizing who he is. But that dude's a real dude, and he's well on his way.
He had 9 assists in game 1, which is awesome, and then he got 0 in game 2.
Changed it up on him.
So the play, he changed up a little bit, but he couldn't adapt. Right, he couldn't like.
His teammates also didn't shoot near. Like McDaniels didn't have the game of his life either in game 2. So.
And there's some foul trouble. That
guys got to make shots. Yeah, DiVincenzo has to play, not be in foul trouble. Things have to happen.
Well, then, like I saw that clip of him in the post game conference, and he was describing like, oh yeah, JD was doing this, and here's what I got to make this different read. So he sees it. It's just now he's got to start building on it, and I think more and more we're seeing him develop in a way that you want to see. That's what you want to see from your superstar. And I love his attitude. I was kind of on the fence a little bit sometimes last year when I felt like he wasn't really proving it. But like, if you're going up against LeBron and Luka, I think that's the guy I want on my team to go up against those guys.
Yeah,
the guy that does not give a shit about those guys. It's like, I'm not worried about these guys. Let's go.
He also respects them.
Yeah,
like you can tell like he has admiration for LeBron and Luka. He doesn't like the difference between him and Booker. Booker like tries to disrespect. Luka,
respect not
bites him in the ass. But
exactly. Respect not fear. Great word for Joey. He's not afraid of those guys, and I like that, and that's what I want from my guys. It reminds me of like a Derrick Rose. Like, why not me? Let's go up against these guys. That's what you want to see.
Don't do that. Don't do the Rose comparison on me.
Attitude wise.
Every time I see Edwards fall on his ass, I'm like, oh god,
get up. No, man. I mean. He just, I don't know, man. Especially the game 1, too. I'm kind of like game 2 felt like, I think I heard Zach Lowe, maybe it was who said it, or Russillo, where they were like, it just felt like he had done the job getting the 1-1 split and maybe wasn't as engaged as he needed to be in game 2. And they, as a team, Minnesota was just like, all right, we're going home 1-1. We instead of looking for like the kill shot of, hey, you get these guys 0-2 going home, it's over, man. Like, come on.
Maybe that, or like because you heard a whistle in your ear every 30 seconds.
Yeah, we can talk about that too if you want.
I don't know, man. Like that was the part. Like, yeah, I'm not blaming the refs. Like they didn't like favor the Lakers more, but I think more foul calls favors the Lakers. Like, like the free throws were split, and like. When you get someone like Dante and Nasri in foul trouble so early like that, and the only guy in foul trouble for the Lakers is Jackson Hayes. Yeah. Granted, he was like the worst player on the floor. Like Bolton was unreal. So I wish and maybe went out and tried to put it on them, but I don't know. I don't know if they were allowed to, conspiracy wise. Like, can the Lakers get swept like that unless Jaden was hitting the shots? And Mike Conley's got to hit some shots. I don't know.
No, and I hopefully they get a little better whistle in Minnesota. I agree with you. Like you said, it's not necessarily that the Lakers are getting quote unquote calls, but that if there's a lot of whistles, it benefits the Lakers.
So it sounds like we're on the same page. No, we're not. No one's really nervous. The fact that Lakers won game 2, like, Lakers are going to win this thing. Yeah, not even a little bit. Yeah,
kind of felt like it was always coming.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe that could lean into the underreactions, because maybe start in the Western Conference, but that would have been a valid, like it was, like you said, Joey said, it felt like it was just coming. Like, all right, they're probably get game 2. Like, I would have been surprised if Minnesota got in game 2.
It would have been over.
It would have been over. It would have been like, this is over. Good night, but they didn't. Any other Western Conference underreactions? I think this maybe
besides the Lakers winning a game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to say about the Thunder.
No, like, they're just doing their thing.
Yeah, I think I touched on it a little bit with
murals for them.
The Boston thing. Intramurals is a great way to put it. Yeah, they were playing a bum and in Memphis. I don't think they were going to play anybody decent.
I will say I did see some, like, there's like TikTok guys that are trying to say like, see, Shea should not be MVP. Look how good the Thunder are without him. It's like, this isn't why Shea's going to be MVP.
Yeah, that's not what it is, man.
Yeah. Can't watch 2 games against a bad team when it makes sense for him not to play heavy minutes and be like, oh, no, he's not the MVP. No, get out of here.
He doesn't. didn't necessarily have to, which is, I guess, maybe the kind of the quote unquote the point, but that's also
that's the argument we're making. Then by that logic, Alex Caruso is the MVP because he's just running around and doing everything and stopping John Morant and stopping, right? Like that's silly logic.
Yeah, so we're underreacting to the Lakers. That's great to hear, guys. Appreciate that. So.
Yes. I honestly not just saying it because it's you. I mean, I honestly feel game one felt like the fail-out game for LeBron, and they didn't like wow you in game two, right? Like they were better than game one, but it wasn't like, oh, okay, this is what we've been missing. It was like, wow, first quarter was really good, and then they scored 60 points the next three quarters.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
it's crazy.
Right. Minnesota looked like they were just like, yeah, we got our split. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
And the foul trouble obviously didn't help. So I have no like overconfidence in the Lakers being like, oh yeah, they're back in it now. LeBron felt it out. No, whatever. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Yeah, my only underreaction is OKC. So I'm gonna go to the Eastern Conference underreactions.
Sure.
Joe, you got one?
I guess I'll go back to an overreaction with the Pacers. I know Chris talked a little bit about it, but like, I'm not really taking much of the Pacers from the series against the Bucks and thinking that because they're beating the Bucks, that they're somehow superior.
That means something?
It's just, I'm still finding it hard to like convince myself that the grouping of Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner is like gonna do some damage, and they've done damage, right? I mean, they NBA Cup final.
You're in the conference finals.
Finals. Just winning chips left and right.
maybe I'm just here waiting to be proven wrong, but like of all the games that I've watched so far, like they still just don't instill this like great confidence in me. And I don't know why. Like it's hard. Like I can't like quite put my finger on it. It's like what is it? It's just like the collection of them like doesn't get me excited. Like they don't have that like dominant superstar that these other teams have when the time is going to come for put up or shut up. I just who are you trusting in Indy over somebody else? I don't have it.
It's so funny. This team is the same team that 15 years ago was assembled with George Hill, Lance Stevenson, Roy Hibbert, David West, and was it Granger or Paul George at that point? Was Paul George on the team 15 years ago?
Probably.
I think, right? It was that team. And like Paul George wasn't who he became when he was in Indy. He was pretty good, but he wasn't like that, like, oh, he's the guy that's going to take them over the top. And here they are again, the Pacers, just like, yeah, they're pretty good, but like Halliburton's not going to be this, maybe that's why he's considered overrated, because maybe people think he's even better than he is. I think he's kind of properly rated. Like he's a really good above average player in the NBA.
Like a tier 2, tier 3 superstar?
Maybe like a 3, I guess.
3.
But I think that's where we had it. I need to check those rankings.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
2010, 2011 Indiana Pacers. Mike Dunleavy, Paul George, Danny Granger, Tyler Hansborough, Roy Hibbert, Lance Stevenson, James Posey, Darren Collison. It was quite the group.
Okay, so I had some names wrong. That's funny. Yeah.
Is that the team that
took Paul George's first season?
First season?
First one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the team that took the Heat to 7, right? Didn't they take the Heat to 7 at one point? I feel like I remember a game 7 with Paul George.
They lost in the Eastern Conference first round, 1-4 against the Bulls. Okay.
So yeah, that was maybe the year
they were good for like that 5-year stretch.
Yeah.
And like there was a different inkling, of that team.
They took the Heat to the Eastern semifinals in the next season, lost 4-2.
Okay.
Maybe the one you're thinking of.
That might be the one I'm thinking of. If I see 6 games series, I think that was.
No, you're right. You were right. 7 games. 2012, 2013.
Okay.
The Eastern Conference Finals went to 7 against Miami. Look at you pulling.
But again, that whole time,
I remember that series.
Yeah, I never felt like Indiana was actually going to beat Miami.
Yeah, but you think about like that's crazy. A team that you didn't think was going to beat Miami was a game away from the finals.
Yeah,
technically.
Yeah.
What does that say about Miami?
Yeah. Oh wow, here we go. The slander.
They didn't really have a big three. I don't know if you heard.
Brought that.
Yeah, that's right. It was a 2.5 or something. More.
That's my underreaction, though.
I have a slight underreaction. It's kind of countering Titus's. I understand Titus because you've become a Celtics fan.
Boy.
Like if this was happening to the Timberwolves and their expectations, I think I understand where you're coming from. But I'm still underreacting.
Yeah,
Tatum's out with a wrist. I feel like I don't know the severity of the injury, but I feel like if push came to shove, he'd be playing. If this was like a game 4 of the finals, or game 2 of the finals, even. So I'm taking nothing from this series. I've looked at it a little bit. Paulo. I mean, I was watching the game earlier. No game talk, but like it's just an example of Franz Wagner had an open 3. He dribbles in and does a mid-range pull-up. I'm like, this is the Orlando Magic. Like, they're just not the Magic, not an offensive team.
No.
And even next series, if they play the Pistons, that we're all kind of thinking that they'll play now, what can you take away from that? I don't know. They don't really have a matchup until the conference finals, it feels like.
Yep. All right. If they get, let's say they get the worst case scenario, they get Pistons and then they get Pacers in the conference finals.
Worst case.
I think I'd be scared. I'd be scared for them in the finals. They didn't.
Would anybody like take them seriously as a back-to-back champion? Let's say if they were, what if they didn't even get OKC in the finals?
And then like they got the Warriors or something.
The Warriors or somebody, yeah. Or they got a Clippers. Clippers get by OKC and then Kawhi gets hurt.
And then Kawhi gets hurt.
Yeah.
That's it.
30 minutes in game 1 and then gets hurt.
Yeah, he gets hurt, and then everybody's like, "Wow, Boston's a back-to-back champion." And
cool.
It's cool, man. You didn't play anybody.
Back-to-back champions. Porzingis is MVP.
Yeah, 8 straight rounds. You didn't play anybody.
Tatum goes and cries. It's all downhill from here.
We did it. What did he say? Oh man, that actually now I'm kind of rooting for that. That'd be great.
Talking into existence.
Talking into existence, guys. Well, if Kawhi gets hurt in the finals, you can blame us. Wow. Fun stuff, guys. All right, let's talk about some players. We've kind of touched on some players here and there. I got a fun one here to start it off, and then if you guys want to throw out a player that you think is doing good, I went a little bit off the beaten path here, but going to those Pacers, I was surprised to see Siakam as their top performer. He's averaging 24.5 points, 9 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. So yeah, they're kind of doing it by committee. But Siakam, he's kind of cooking, man. I don't know. Could be interesting.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, cool guys. Cool Titus.
You can have him. He's still you can have the guy.
That was I saw it. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. Good for him. Good for Siakam.
It's fair.
He's getting a little shine here in that series. Chris, you got a guy that's standing.
My guy. It's not like a Ben Mathurin or something or like Bobby. It's for me. It's Luka Doncic. Watching every minute of this guy. Jaden McDaniels is the primary defender. Jaden is a skinny, weak man compared to Luka Doncic. Like he can't handle him. He's long, but he just gets pushed 5 feet out of the way every time. The stat line I saw that I thought was kind of interesting, where with the Lakers compared to his stats with Dallas and the Lakers this year are identical points, rebounds, and assists wise, 28, 8, and 7. Rebounds and assists. So he's been the same. It's weird because like I always thought like some of those stats would come because of the way the team is formed, but it's really just him. He just gets those stats every single game on average, and he's still doing it at this rate. With he's so hard to stop. I'm watching this guy. It's like how do you look at this? No matter how frustrated you get with him, you learn to adapt. You learn to kind of work with a talent like this instead of being like, no, I got to trade this. I will never understand it even more. Just seeing this over and over. And like, it's not like this is the first time I'm watching Luke. I've been watching him since he's been in the league. But it's just seeing it more against a team that I want, him to lose to again.
He's fat.
He's fat.
He's fat.
No, I think on a serious note, I think every time I watch him defensively, that's where, like, to me, I don't
on the perimeter, but what the Lakers have been smart with is putting them like in this 2-3, like it's not a zone, but it's like a 2-3 hybrid where like they did like a thing where if Anthony Edwards had the ball, they would go into his zone. And if he didn't, they would kind of man up.
About.
Yeah, and Luka was like on the perimeter on the side, so he was kind of, and like when he was up against Randall in the post, he was able to hold his own a little bit because he's a big guard. So it's kind of like he does have defense in a different way, but he is slow. Like it is funny to see like Anthony Edwards kind of spin around a little bit.
I think that's my thing. Ultimately, I just don't think you can have your best player be a guy that you have to completely scheme for on the defensive end. Like we have to hide this guy. I mean, even Steph Curry, like he wasn't the best defender in the world, but he could be a solid defender when needed. And if you put him on somebody in a perimeter, he could at least be a passable.
I think he was underrated.
Yeah, he's a little underrated. Yeah. I mean, he's a smaller guy, so they would try to get on bigs on him and stuff like that. So, but I just think when you have a guy like Luka, where you have to go, we know he's not going to play any defense, so we have to do something so he doesn't get switch hunted and things like that. I think that's a problem long term.
The numbers you put up though, like I thought, like maybe the 8 and 7, maybe the rebounds and assists, the assists might go down because there's different players, or the rebounds might change because there's other guys. He's getting the exact same stats. It's nuts to me in that sense.
Joe, you got a guy you've been watching, keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I was going to task Mellis this and go opposite of a bottom guy and rip on Brunson, but I kind of did that already when we talked about the reactions. So I'll throw out another chalk player. I'll throw out Steph Curry.
All right, yeah.
31 points in game 1, 12-19 from the field, 5 and 9 from 3. The way they were guarding him was kind of crazy to watch. The primary defender on him wasn't even looking at the ball. All they were doing was face guarding him. They were straight up just staring at stuff, chasing him wherever he went. And he still managed to get 31 points on pretty good shooting. Yes, it's the Rockets. Yes, it was like Dylan Brooks, who pretty good defender. They did kind of switch it up here and there, but it was fun to watch, and it was fun to watch a guy who, 4 or 5 months ago was kind of like, oh man, is this it? Like, have we seen the end of it? And he looks rejuvenated again. That 3-pointer he hit, like falling out of bounds, was ridiculous. It was like a vintage Steph moment. And this might be like the perfect kind of warm up for them, which is so weird to say because it's a 2 seed. But it almost seems like it's the perfect kind of like introduction for Jimmy Butler to the Warriors kind of playoff squad feel and bringing it all together here. And do I expect them to get like super far? No, but like they're going to be a problem.
Yeah,
they're going to be some trouble here. So it should be fun, and they have some vibes. Talk about like good team vibes.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler and like Moses, like everybody's, they're just like all like ribbing each other, like in press conferences and like giving each other shit. Talking about like, hey, you gotta, stop dribbling and pass the ball. Like they're just all having a good old time there, and that to me reminds me of like the older Warriors, right? When it was just like a bunch of buddies and they went out and hurt you. So I like it, kind of like them.
Like it. I mean, whether they get Minnesota or LA, let's say in the next round, I mean, neither one of those are like perfect teams. So I think it's, I wouldn't say it's a great matchup, but it's certainly a winnable series. So
there's a chance to cause some rumbles.
There is a chance. I would be remiss if we didn't mention Jokic is averaging a triple-double, 27.5, 10, and 11.
It's funny. I didn't even think about that because all I could think about with Jokic was he went 6 of 10 from the free throw line, which I was like, why is he missing free throws?
I don't know what's going on. They're starting to look like Giannis over there, man.
Start counting.
What do you guys think on those? Like, again, Jokic and Giannis, almost smushed the two together there, are playing great. What do you guys think happens with those two teams? Two championship teams, smaller markets, but it appears that any sort of chance to make a little bit of a run or, quote unquote, a dynasty with two of the best players in the league right now, 1 and 2, probably at least 1 and 3.
I mean, Jokic isn't moving. There's no chance. Are you insinuating that Jokic?
I think Jokic. Well, who knows? No, I think Murray or Porter Jr. might be gone from that team, but
yeah, I think they're both gone.
There's got to be something happening in Denver, right?
I would think there's more likely something to happen in Milwaukee.
Okay.
something more impactful. Like Giannis, I think, is going to be like the one. Like this has got to be heartbreaking, devastating for him, right? To go out there and do this and be like, wow, this is the rest of the squad you put around me. Like you traded Middleton out and brought in Kuzma, and like Chris Middleton would probably be looking pretty damn good right now, right? Like they probably win game 2 if they have Chris Middleton.
Maybe.
Let's be honest.
It's creaky, but
you'd feel a little more confident at least. Where he goes, I'm starting to see some things about like Giannis going to New York, right? The Knicks or the Nets. Of course, the Chicago media is saying, he's going to come to Chicago. He can just keep his house in Milwaukee and get an apartment down here, and his family can stay there. But let's be honest, Giannis isn't. If he's leaving a non-contending team because they can't build a contending team around him, he's not coming here to experience.
That's why, like, when you go to Brooklyn, like Brooklyn's,
but Jamal Murray's got to be gone though. I think that's a done deal.
Yeah.
Especially if they lose this round, like first round, you got to do something around Jokic. Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
That's a tough one there.
All right, we had one more little stat here. Chris, you want to hit us with your
77? So 77% of teams that win game 1 go on to win the series, which sounds like a lot, but
that
really when you look down at it though, it's two. That means 1 of every 5 series, one of those teams comes back to win it. And so when I look at the matchups, you have Thunder, Grizzlies, Thunder.
Yeah.
Rockets, let's go. Oh, Cavs, Heat. We did not talk at all about Cavaliers, Heat. I'm watching right now the Heat. Anyways, but Cavs, right? And let's just say that. Celtics, Magic, Celtics. So you got Knicks, Pistons, or Pacers, Bucks, Pacers. So really you have Knicks, Pistons, Nuggets, Clippers, Lakers, Timberwolves, and then Rockets, Warriors. So you have 4 teams, one or at least, or potentially really 2 of them, the team who lost game 1 is going to win the series. So like of those series, which is most likely to have the team that lost game 1 win? We got to pick 2, I feel like, who's going to win the series.
I think that there's 2 clear potentials. I think it's the Clippers and the Pistons.
He just didn't.
I don't know if he took himself out, but that's all right. We got Joey left us for a second, but
I think you're right. Okay. So, and when I first did this question, I was kind of thinking like, all right, is this between the Pistons or the Lakers?
Okay.
Like, are we that confident in the Pistons sealing this up over like the Lakers potentially just figuring it out and beating the Timberwolves? So that's kind of how I wanted to look at it.
That's interesting because so are you kind of just giving the Clippers the series then, right over there? You feel like that's a done deal?
I already overreacted.
Yeah, that's right. You did overreact.
Lose, right? Yeah.
So that's a done deal. So I do think between those 2 teams, I think you might be right as far as adding the Lakers in the mix, and I just kind of forgot about them. But there's certainly potential there. Maybe they figured something out with the defensive switch up where then, all right, they can hide Luka a little bit in that zone. And they don't
believe those words you're saying.
I don't believe any of those words I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
There's a chance. There's a chance that JJ's pulling the strings. But I see, to me, the one that I really see, I do see the Pistons because I don't. The Knicks are playing 6 guys.
Yeah, they really are.
They really are. Like, it's them and the Nuggets they're playing 6 guys straight up for real.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that works. I mean, you can't just run just 5 guys out there unless they're just unbeatable. And right now, like Mikal Bridges isn't looking super sharp. I don't know what Brunson's on, but he's just flailing at everything. So,
and the other thing to point out with the Pistons, I saw Tim Hardaway Jr. went 0 of 8 in the game that they won. So like their players aren't even all playing well.
Yeah,
and they're still able to pull out these wins. So it's like I think the Pistons have been underappreciated because they're in Detroit and because New York's such a big market.
Yeah,
that might be underplayed. Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. All right, so we got Clippers and Pistons as the winners of the teams who lost game 1, but will go on to win their respective series.
Any love for Houston?
No.
Or no? That's a wrap
okay. So like we've only, as of this recording,
yes,
we've only seen one game, and we're all kind of like, it's over. But if they could make the adjustment to have like Jabari, Steven Adams, Sengun, front line.
Yeah.
And if they can play big and actually overpower the small Golden State Warriors, there could be something there. I hope I see something tonight to that effect.
With the late
That's
game.
actually, that could be really fun. But I'm pessimistic.
Pessimistic at best for Houston.
Best. Do you believe in Houston?
No,
a little bit.
I don't.
It's
believe
such a
in
weird
Houston.
2 seed.
This is a weird 2 seed, but I think Joey kind of hit the nail on the head when he was with us. That they don't have a guy, and maybe they can get by Golden State, but I think kind of Golden State getting game 1 was huge.
Yeah,
it was like a statement message, like, hey, now we're still your older brother, guys. So
we're still the big brother.
And Curry just went berserk.
No, it's nuts. It's vintage Curry, and like it's not like he can't do that again. Like
no. And then you're gonna get, at some point, you're gonna get a Jimmy game. So
yeah, you could even get a Buddy Hield game.
Yeah,
Podziemski. I don't know. Yeah, so
there's a lot of guys. You're just not getting a Kuminga game though. That's it. we're not getting that. He's not.
That was a weird. He's just gone.
He's just gone. They're just not playing him.
Okay.
Interesting choice, Steve. But hey, you gotta trust Steve.
What if there's something will come out, be like he's actually been a cancer in the clubhouse or in the locker room.
He got punched in the face.
Yeah, right. It just wasn't on camera this time.
It just wasn't on camera. All right, I think that's kind of it here. You got anything else for playoffs or anything you're looking forward to this week?
Wolves Friday. I'm going to the game.
Oh, you're going to the game. All right.
So it'll be fun to see LeBron and Luka in person.
Gonna do
Baskets is excited to see them in person. So that'll be a fun experience.
Maybe do a live react or something here on the
way home. Maybe we'll see. Yeah.
See how if the
game
beers
goes,
are flowing.
Right?
See how the game goes.
We're gonna out live react to the Bulls, and then Joey just kind of
no, I'm not doing that. Smart move. Thank you, Joey, for saving me a bunch of money. That was a smooth move, buddy.
It's true.
Thanks again. Just before we go here, I did want to get your feelings on the Minnesota series. How you feeling?
I feel fine.
You feel fine?
I feel nervous every single time.
Yeah.
I'm just, the only player they can't stop is Luka. I feel pretty good. Randall can really hold his own against LeBron, better than I was even expecting.
He can have a good series here.
Does okay. So the one thing I didn't mention yet is Rudy Gobert. I know he has like crab hands. Like, have you seen him go for a ball? It doesn't feel like he can move his fingers into like a grippy position. It doesn't make he's just like this, like, oh, I can't get the offensive rebound. Like, dude, just grab it for the love of you. But defensively, he's getting hunted.
Yeah.
And Reeves had an insane make. But outside of that, Reeves is 2 of 7, 1 of 5 or something from against Gobert. Luka is only shooting 40% against Gobert. And so like, hey, keep hunting Gobert because he's gonna hold his own more often than not. I feel like so.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Yeah,
it's a good sign.
And there's no rim protector. I'm not expecting Rui and LeBron to keep handling the paint like they did in Game 2. Again, all this stuff, like I don't expect them to repeat what they did in Game 2 for another 3 to 5 games.
Yeah, that feels like a big ask of LeBron, and maybe he's up for the task. But
dude, how about Gabe though? Gabe was just a scrappy defender in that game. He really looked like a all defense guy. It was so weird because I never thought of Gabe as defensive prowess kind of guy, but
I guess next to Luka.
Guess right.
Everybody looks pretty good. Joey, any final thoughts before we head out here on the playoffs? What are you looking forward to this week? Are you
sorry, I feel like I joined the Mind the Game podcast. I came in, left,
swirling wine,
came back. You guys were in the depths of some Lakers stuff here. Looking forward to my Pistons.
Your Pistons. Oh, the adoption.
I'm just adopting the Pistons here. You know why I'm adopting the Pistons? I'm adopting them because I'm jealous of them.
Yeah.
Because they were so bad last year and they weren't supposed to be that great this year. And here they are looking competent, looking competitive. I'm also just curious to see if New York, like this is it for them. I feel like, right. This is the end of the Tibbs window.
Yeah.
This would be the third season of them extremely underachieving with Brunson. And then this season, especially adding Cat and Bridges, like they've gone all in. And if they can't get past the Pistons, there's going to be some blood spilling up in New York.
Yeah. Do you think Tibbs would be the guy to go? Not necessarily personnel change.
Got to be the fall guy, right?
It's got to be the fall guy. He's got to be the fall guy, and then it's going to be a slew of, bench players that didn't play that are going to take the fall for it, and they're going to say the team wasn't built right, but in reality, the team was probably fine. They just didn't play him right.
You know what happened after Tibbs is fired is some guys that are on that team, like I can't think of names off the top of my head, like Deuce McBride. They actually find out they have bench players that are pretty good. It's like, oh, this guy can actually play. Hey, he's averaging 10. Like, look at this.
Wow, look at that.
I wonder why Tibbs wasn't playing him.
They can bring in Budenholzer. They can get Giannis, and they can just recreate the New York.
That's dirty. That's ridiculous.
I love it. I kind of love it.
Problem solved.
Problem solved, guys. Who? Cat for Giannis?
Sure.
Cat and throwing some, sprinkling some other
cat in pieces, some swaps.
Maybe like OG. No, I mean, I don't know OG.
But OG, then you got to keep OG.
Cat and swaps for Giannis.
Cat and swaps.
Cat and some picks. I don't know what picks they have left.
Some picks.
Can they?
Yeah, right. Do they have any
picks? I mean, the Bucks would say yes in a heartbeat because if they lose Giannis, their whole team is nothing. So they're going to need all the picks they can get their hands on. That's the only reason they've stayed relevant. So.
And then you got the Cat and Coos show in Milwaukee.
Cat and Coos.
Cat and Coos. That sounds like a good.
It's like a terrible sitcom. Yeah. An Adult Swim sitcom.
An Adult Swim sitcom.
Cat and Coos.
Wow. We're making up new shows. We're making up sodas with the clips. This is a overall good time here at the Box Out Boys. I'm excited for the playoffs. I'm hoping to watch some games, not fall asleep during a Lakers game. I was exhausted. Don't blame me. But yeah.
Hey, the 9 p.m. starts are rough, man.
Those are rough, man. Especially when you're LeBron's age. I feel like, hats off to him.
Yeah.
Well, he gets a nap. He naps.
He naps. Yeah.
He gets a massage and a nap, so he's good.
I thought about it, and I really messed up. It was about 8:00, and I was like, I should power nap it here for an hour. Wake up for the 9 a.m.
Too dangerous. 8:00.
It was real dangerous. Yeah, I was like, but if I go down, I might not even see it.
Right.
And so I was feeling like a little wind. And I was like, I can watch it, and then the next thing I knew, I woke up, it was midnight, and Minnesota had lost. So you can blame me for not watching. All right. Well, that is it for us tonight. Follow us at social media at the Box Out Boys. Slide in those DMs. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on YouTube and Spotify. Very much appreciate that. So for the boys, and until next time, Box Out.